Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host and the noob, Caliban. I don't know if it's art, but I know I don't like it.
And we're a couple of magical people ready to Moon Crisis make up this episode. Today we are talking about episode number 156. Yume o miyu shinwanaide, Shinjitsu o utsu su kagami in Japanese. Don't lose sight of your dreams, the mirror of truth, the English translation, and the English title, Reflections of Reality.
Never, Reflections of Reality. Never give up.
Never give up.
Dreams. Never, ever, ever give up. Harry Truman.
Harry Truman? What?
Albert Einstein?
Who said that?
The frog who's choking the stork that's eating him? I don't know. You see that on posters sometimes.
Yeah. Like, hang in there, never give up.
Hang in there, baby. That's a different poster.
That is a different poster, but yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
That cat's definitely dead by now.
Yeah. Oh, no. A poor thing.
You have to hold on to your dreams.
Yes.
Don't you?
You do.
If your dream is to entertain people with a Sailor Moon podcast, you gotta hang on to that dream.
I gotta
cherish it.
Hang on to
You gotta
surviving.
cherish it.
I know. What? Where are we going? I just don't even know anymore.
I don't know. But we're going to go there.
We are.
On a wing and a prayer and a dream. Those three things. And the greatest of these is dream.
Of course.
Let's talk about our great listeners.
Yes, let's do that, please.
And the responses they give us to the question, what did you think of this episode?
Which somehow gets more and more comical.
On your Spotify service,
Yeah.
on every episode, you can answer the question, what did you think about this episode? It's a Q&A. It's built into Spotify, whether you use it on your PC or on your device. Go to the episode, the specific episode that we're talking about.
Of course.
That you want to tell us what you thought, and you can click through and just tell us what you thought about this episode. Mm-hmm. And we've got a response for last week's episode, our short leave episode.
Oh, nice.
From regular listener Fandom Casual. About that episode, Fandom says, we went from, really? The push for AI is about lessening scandal? To, 32F, Mr. Crystal Meth! And World War II is always weirder than anyone thinks. Big TIL.
Yeah. What does TIL mean?
You said yeah.
I did, and then
so
I was
we're moving
like,
on.
Hey!
She knows what it is. Today I learned.
Oh, okay. Today I learned what TIL means.
That's right. TIL.
TIL.
So thanks for your responses. And as always, you can go to Spotify and give us your response. What did you think about this episode?
I love it.
Dare you, once this is over, to tell us what you thought about this episode.
Oh, no.
Because it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, it is going to be a thing.
And I'm on about 3 fingers of NyQuil.
Okay.
We didn't have to do this show.
No.
But we're doing it anyway.
Yes, we are.
So here we go. Whee!
Well, would you like to break down...
Why don't they make it coffee flavored?
Coffee flavored...
Why must it taste
syrup?
terrible? Kids
Cough
don't
syrup?
like how coffee tastes.
That's true.
So make NyQuil and other drinkable medicines taste
Just
like coffee.
But
or
then
like
would adults
fine
hate
whiskey.
that too? Yeah.
Actually, don't make something that's got alcohol in it taste like whiskey.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
But I mean, why does it have to taste like rotten fruit that was a cyborg?
Because you have to know...
Didn't die from rotting, died from its cyborg-related reasons, and now is also rotting, and that's how it tastes.
You have to know this is good for you, but you can't eat it all the time.
What if
this is only to...
Oh, I don't think anybody thinks it's good, unless there's some kid out there that's like, I like the blue one, but really I go for the red.
There might be. I had a friend growing up
Little sippy cup.
Oh my
Come on,
God.
Serve them up. Slide that sippy cup down the kitchen table.
I had a friend growing up who actually liked the way that Tums taste and would just eat them just whenever. because she liked the way that they tasted.
The clown car of weirdos that you call friends
I know.
never ceases
yeah.
to provide us with fun stories like that one.
Yeah, well,
I guess she was big into Smarties.
she's blocked now because
Oh.
she got weird. So
She got weird. She got weird, everybody. This kid's just taking thumbs down by the roll.
Newsflash, she got weird.
She got weird.
Okay.
All right, I owe you
deserve
one.
that.
Smarties are made from chocolate in the UK. They're way better over there.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend who, when the Atkins diet was big, this is a while ago, obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
Poor man died of a heart attack. Bacon related. They just pulled a steak of bacon out of his heart.
Oh my
I
God.
don't wonder what happened. And so he couldn't have any sugar, obviously, but he craved sugar.
That's
He's a
bad.
real sugar guy. And he found Tic Tacs.
Uh-huh.
Because Tic Tacs don't have any sugar. And that's been that way for a while.
They don't have any sugar, really.
Maybe in England. In the UK, you can get sugared Tic Tacs. But no, Tic Tacs have no sugar. And so he ate Tic Tacs, but he didn't eat mint ones. He ate orange Tic Tacs.
That's weird.
Because he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And he would just eat them, and it would just be like a little, he just had the little right?
Yeah.
He'd pop it open in the middle of just whatever, conversation. He's driving. He's just like, throws that back. And you're like, is that your 40th Tic Tac of the day? He's like, puts it back in his pocket, right? At one time, we were driving in his car, and he took, last one. It's a solid gold. Right back in there. Throws it in the back seat, right? I hear a clink.
Oh, my God.
I look behind me in his back seat.
No.
There are at least 80 empty Tic Tac cases back there.
The horror.
Yeah. This has been going on for a long time.
He just casually tosses it back.
Yes.
Oh, my
right
God.
in the back there. So, yeah, no sugar, though. So it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So anyway, we both have weird friends.
And now that that's been settled.
Now they're on their podcast being like, these guys, they do a Sailor Moon podcast?
Yeah. Well, what weirdos.
Pretty weird. More Tic Tacs?
More Tums. So, yeah. Would you like to break down today's episode?
I guess.
All right.
I got a feeling.
Yeah.
Ooh. That this is going to be something special.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna commit to that feeling.
Okay.
Prove me wrong, show. We open with a little teaser, as the show is currently in the habit of doing, where we see Usagi sitting on a couch in the Sakino living room, and Chibiusa is sketching her in charcoal for a homework assignment.
Yes.
Now, predictably, Usagi is already tired of sitting still for so long, but Chibi's determined to do her best, and Luna is there to encourage her. Usagi says, "I've been here for so long." And Chibi says, "Look, I told you I'd buy you meat buns. Just hold on."
Yeah, right.
And Usagi thinks, well, I do like meat buns. How much are meat buns compared with Chibi's allowance?
I think that they're relatively inexpensive.
We know that this child that gets money.
Yeah, and she probably saves more than Usagi does.
And I see these YouTube channels where they buy, they go out and get, we got street food in Japan. And it's like really cheap. Like a funnel cake's like $20 here.
Sometimes it's really cheap.
But
yeah,
you go off and get like some takoyaki and it's like, yeah, it's 50 cents.
Well, yeah.
Here's 4 takoyaki right out of the grill.
I think you could get Nikuman like for something like 350 to 500 yen, so around $3.50, $5
a piece.
A piece.
That's like a McDonald's hamburger is less than that.
Well, maybe it would be less than that. I don't know. Okay. And if you are buying it from a specialty, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it sound like you can get them at the convenience store.
Anyway,
so they could be
these girls have unlimited access to food. Now let's see if that's important later in the episode. Chibi continues to work, and we see Usagi's head poke in from out of frame, and she's like, "Hey, what is this?" She grabs the drawing and says, "You can't be saying this ugly person is me." And Chibi's like, "I don't see anybody else sitting there." Usagi says, "I'm not this ugly." And Chibi says, "That's not what the mirror says."
Oh my God. Classic,
whatever this is.
Yes.
We cut to the girls returning from the meat bun shop, and Usagi is stuffing her mouth, but it doesn't stop her from telling Chibi, but Chibi tells her, "I already bought you some hot meat-filled buns. They're from Big Athletic Meat, the bun store.
No.
That's what you're eating right now. Our deal is closed." But Chibi, think think, Chibi. You're not thinking about the fact that Usagi has the food already. That's all she wants.
Yes.
You're expendable now, Chibi. Watch your back. But before Usagi can do anything, the two of them see a painter painting in the park. And we pan across the painter's paintings.
Yep.
I'll stop. And we see a sign saying portraits. That's what the sign says. I can't stop. 1 for 1,500 yen.
Yeah.
Which, buddy, know what your labor's worth.
Yeah, right.
Ask for more than that.
I think so.
2,000 yen would be 2 bills. You know,
Yes.
don't make them break a bill.
Yeah, I know, right?
1,000 yen bills. Then you're done.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense to
And
me.
you made $17 on your portrait. Your life's work.
Yeah, right.
Our artist is a young man with brown hair in a sailor's hat, like a Donald Duck type hat.
It does look like
I
that.
tried to
doesn't
figure
it?
out what that kind of hat is called, and I think it's just a sailor hat.
Oh, okay.
I guess that says artiste.
I guess. You would think beret, though.
And the girl, well, they didn't bray, too obvious.
Two on the nose.
Donald Duck hat.
There you go.
And the girls are watching him work and comparing the woman that's being painted to the painting. And they're like, wow, so lifelike. It's weird when they, like, draw someone in a cartoon.
It is weird.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do they make the distinction between the art that's art in this world
Yes.
and, like, the real thing? And the answer seems to be more hatching lines.
I guess so, right.
And, like, not filled in, not fully colored, a little more like sketchy pastel,
Right.
you know, not like solid colors like our animated characters.
Make it look sketchy chic, and then you're good to go.
Sketchy chic.
I don't know. It, like the hatch marks and
You mean
everything.
derelict?
Yeah, right.
I can derelict my own balls. Thank you very much.
It reminds me of another medium which is similar to animation, and that is video games.
Oh.
Okay, I play video games.
Yes.
Okay? And there is a mission in the video game, The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
Okay.
In which you go magically into a painting, and then you're in the world of the painting.
Very cool.
And it's like, well, how do you show that this is not, because there's werewolves and all kinds of weird things in The Witcher. How do you show that this is a different world?
Yeah.
And the answer is that it's an impressionist painting. So you
That's
go
cool.
in and you're in a courtyard that is similar to the courtyard that you were just in, that's painted in this painting, but instead of like the sharp outlines of the bushes and the flowers, they're all kind of smeary, like the suggestion of flowers, you know, a smeary brush strokes that make up
That's
a bush.
neat.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very cool.
Usagi says, "This is how you draw someone's face." And the painter finishes and offers his work to the woman, but she says, "That doesn't look anything like me. I have larger eyes." And her friends say, yes, that's true. She says, "And I have a thinner nose." And the artist is like, I thought I did a good job. And Usagi says, "Hey, it's just like you. What's your problem?" And the woman says, "Miss DoorDasher, I'm sure you know a lot about meat buns." His arms are full of bags of meat buns.
I know.
"But butt out." And Usagi's like, "What?" And the woman says, "I'm not this ugly." And Chibi says, "That sounds familiar." Things are getting tense.
Yes.
But the artist says, "I think it looks a lot like you, but if you don't like it, you don't have to pay." And the woman says, "Of course." And she says,
Let's go, girls.
and the group walks off. Usagi says, "Some customers are so conceited." And the artist sighs. Usagi and Chibi say, "Oh no, did we get in the way of your work?" But the artist says, "No, but would you like a picture?" And the girls pull out their pockets, show they got no money. Bunny ears.
It's great.
But he says, "Oh, no, it's no charge. I just want to show my appreciation." This guy's giving this stuff away.
He's
a terrible artist.
He didn't get paid.
He's a terrible working artist.
He is. He didn't get paid for the last one, and now he's going to give it away for free.
No, you don't give that away.
No.
If you do something good, you never do it for free.
That's right.
That's what the Joker said.
Oh, I should have realized what I was saying yes to.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
At the giant big top in the center of town, a big sizzling sweat drop rolls down Zircon's eye as Vesves stalks towards him, saying, "Don't you have too many false leads?" Pala Pala pops up behind the wing eyeball and says, "Pala Pala thinks you have to take your job more seriously." The four Amazonesses have surrounded Zircon as Junjun says, "If you don't wise up, I'll eat you. And CereCere says, yes, really, I've seen her do it. I've seen her eat people before. But they hear Zirconia say, it's you who needs to wisen up. And Zircon flies to the staff of his master, who is atop her usual elephant perch. Zirconia says, you guys don't even work, you slackers. Where's the golden mirror? Go after this one. And a picture floats down to the Amazonesses, who look at it and see that it's the artist. There,
Yeah.
Obligation fulfilled.
Yes.
You know how this works at this point. And I think the show, a bored artist is a pretty good metaphor for this show right now.
Oh my God.
Cere says, ooh, let me take this one, as she gazes at the photo longingly. We cut to the death spa where the girls are hanging out, and Vess says to Cere, you hardly ever go out. What's gone into you?
Hey, Billy, how come you ain't pounding any tonight?
And as Cere admires herself in the mirror, she says, oh, I thought it wouldn't be bad to have a picture of beautiful little me done by him. And the other
Okay.
girls stare at her strangely as she laughs to herself. And then we're done. It's like, we paid for the death spa, we're using it. Like,
Yeah.
we're contractually obligated to go
I don't
there.
know.
There's no massaging, none of that.
Yeah, you're
Nothing.
right.
They just cut to, it'd be like if we went to the neon bar, he's like, tinkle, tinkle, well, let's go. And then we just cut to the next day.
Yeah, that's a good point. They don't really do anything really constructive in there besides say, how come you wanted to do it this time? That's it.
Well, they can't do that under Zirconia's watchful eye.
Of course not.
Or Zircon's watchful body. In the park, Usagi poses for her picture as Chibi looks on in awe. She says, really good. But Usagi, why are you eating a meat bun? Usagi, holding up her snack, says, I thought my expressions looked the liveliest when I'm eating. Butt out! And Chibi says, what? But the artist says, you do look very happy when you're eating. I'm going to need a wider canvas.
Oh my God.
And Usagi says, you bet. The artist sees her eat the bun and says, they do look very yummy. Oh, he's a starving artist.
Uh-huh.
Well, with his prices, I'm not surprised.
And the way he's charging or not charging people.
That was a long sit for a painting that doesn't look anything like a character for this guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the character that we're going with, because right after he says that, his stomach growls audibly and he collapses onto his easel.
Yeah.
Both of the girls spring up and say, Mr. Kamoi.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a name.
He has a name.
I don't know when they heard it,
I don't either.
but we're hearing it now.
Yes.
Kamoi struggles to get up while saying, don't worry about it. I haven't eaten in 2 or 3 days, so. And Chibi's like, Usagi, your buns. And Usagi grabs her bag tight like, no. Chibi's like, really? We flash to the Sakino house, where a flash in the pan is happening in the kitchen. Usagi and Chibi are trying to cook something in the wok, and it's fully on fire.
Yes.
I guess Akuko Mama's out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Later, they present the artist with food,
Yeah.
or at least their best attempt at it. Usagi's like, bon appetit. I mean, if you want it. And Kamui is like, arigato. Chibi's watching this guy destroy this plate of food. And she's like, wow, it might save you some time if we just put it in a feed bag. I have one up in my room.
Oh my God, no.
Kamui is like, oh, sorry. But Chibi says, hey, if you're willing to eat something like that, go right ahead. And Usagi's like, hey. Chibi asks why Kamui hasn't eaten in so long, and he says, well, I don't have any money. And he thanks them for the meal. And Chibi says, do artists usually not make a lot of money? Oh, Chibi.
Oh, you're so young.
Chibi. And Kamui says, it's more like I end up in arguments with my customers and I end up not getting paid. And Chibi says, why don't you draw them a little prettier than they are? Sweeten it up a little bit.
Sure.
Kamui says, yeah, I know that might let me make more money. And I know living this way is pathetic. But painting lies, man, that only makes you feel empty inside.
Oh my God.
Hey, you got any extra pairs of socks?
Oh my God.
Chibi predictably is like, wow, this guy is like Picasso times Jack Kerouac divided by Mishima.
Oh my God.
Kakui.
Oh my God, no.
Kamui says, my dream is to leave behind famous works of art rather than a famous name. Hey, Pablo. You're going to sign the pictures, right?
Yeah.
I think you can do both.
I think you can
I think you can have both of those things.
Uh-huh.
Chibi says, I have something I want you to look at, Mr. Kamoi. And she runs and gets her picture of Usagi. But Usagi's like, oh, don't show him that. I wasn't eating meat buns. Mr. Kamoi says, it needs a bit more work, but it's full of love. You know, it looks like you had a lot of fun doing it.
Great.
That's kind of how he
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah.
You must really love your older sister.
Uh-huh.
And this is what a failed cold read looks like.
Yes.
You're watching Beyond the Grave, Spirit Time with John Johnson or whatever. He's like, I think it starts with an F. His name was Xander. Oh, okay. Well, that's wrong.
A swing and a miss.
To humor him, Chibi and Usagi blush a little, but inside, they're planning each other's deaths.
Oh my God.
That night, if you die first, you have to go on Beyond the Grave with John Johnson and then give us a sign.
Oh my God.
I was right. That night, please tell me that the artist isn't there still. They never show him leave.
That's true.
That's an important
That
step
is important.
in this process.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chibi's up in her loft apartment. Hopefully the door's locked. And she's looking at herself in the mirror when she gets a FaceTime from Pegasus. Pegasus says, hey, you're not getting wrinkles, are you?
Well, weird.
No, he says, a mirror shows one's true form. How do you look in your own eyes? And Chibi says, I don't know. There's a lot of people who lose sight of their true forms. Or is the face I'm looking at in the mirror not really my true face? And Pegasus is like, oh, trippy. What's in that Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
And he says, they got a computer program that can show you how you'd look if you were older.
Deeply weird and disturbing. Oh my God.
Anyway, the mirror always shows the truth, but the heart of the viewer distorts it. And Chibi thinks about this as downstairs, Mr. Kamoi empties their silver drawer into a pillowcase.
He's using his Donald Duck hat, scraping it in there.
Put it in there.
Yeah.
The next day, bite that. Okay, put it in there. The next day at Akawa Shrine, Usagi is showing her portrait to the squad, the one by Mr. Kamoi, and everyone agrees it's a good likeness. Mm-hmm. But Usagi thinks that her eyes look a little cuter. Manako says, I want a portrait too.
Yeah.
Just draw a bow on this one.
Come on.
They can't help themselves. Makoto says, we have lots of photographs, but they're not the same as a painting. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
That's a deep thought by Mako.
This is that thing that she does that I've pointed out before.
What?
She has to position herself above. Look, she's very exceptional.
Yes.
She's been used to feeling and being exceptional.
Yes.
And so when you're in a position where it's impossible, we all understand what a picture is.
Yes.
Makoto. It's impossible to be superior in this case. She has to put a little apple box out for herself, step on it, and try to get a little higher.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Usagi says, I think my nose is a bit higher, too. The girls all agree that they're going to the park to check out Mr. Kamoi's pictures. And Usagi says, and I think I'm a little paler than that. At the park, Mr. Kamoi is setting up his stand, and up pulls a limo that produces a red carpet, and CereCere emerges in a yellow, frilled ankle-length skirt and a red blazer that's lapelled so that it looks like there's a rose in front of it.
Yes.
And it even has 2 green leaf lapels coming out the side.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah. And she has a white bonnet with a yellow ribbon around it. This is consummate Edwardian fashion.
Yes.
Like the first season of Downton Abbey.
Yeah, sure.
Someone died on the Titanic wearing this exact look. She says, I've heard much about you. That's why I'm here today. I've brought you a great offer. I thought I'd let you paint me. You don't have to be so thrilled about it. He doesn't seem thrilled.
No.
He kind of goes back to his work, but she says, this place isn't a good place to talk, so please come to my estate. He still doesn't respond.
Don't go to a second location.
She says, where's the house come from?
I want to know that
Is
too.
it someone's house?
I want to know that too.
Is it magic?
Is Zirconia
Does it
footing
disappear?
the bill?
Yeah.
Also, Do you remember the last time CereCere went out? It was like the preschool. She appeared in a limo with a red carpet then too.
Oh, they've got that. That's a fleet car.
Okay.
But where's the house come from?
I don't know.
That's what I need to know.
Yeah. Zircon like stoked it out and was like, okay, this is a place we can like use.
Yeah, right. The owners are away.
Yeah, right. Take all the sheets off the
Zircon
furniture.
running Zillow software.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. She says, I'll get you a full set of new tools too. And Kamoi says, it's not like you made the money yourself. I don't like people who brag about being rich. Whoa.
Yeah.
Based Kamoi.
Yeah.
He says, sorry, you should ask someone else. And she thinks, he's tougher than I thought. I'm sorry for being self-centered. My father, who was an art dealer, passed away last year. His dream was to be an aid to talented people like you. I want to follow in his footsteps. How about you paint as much as you want here? She turns around and she can sense that he's interested. And she says, I got the beginning all right. And you might notice that it sounds like I've had a stroke because none of these words make any sense.
Yeah.
So I guess it's time for a translation rewind.
Okay.
This is the time when we go to the YouTube version of the episode and we see what the new Viz sub has to say.
Yes.
And in it, Siri says, would you consider coming to my place and painting to your heart's content? So far, so good.
Uh-huh.
Then she says, I've got him. So point to the new sub on this one.
Okay.
It's a little less. I think something might have been a little lost in the translation, paring it down,
Yeah.
but it does make way more sense.
It does make more sense.
The squad and Chibi arrive to see the artist, but when they arrive, he's not there. The artist is not present.
That's right.
They figure he might have left early today, but Ray says, are you kidding me? I came all the way out here to have, when I walked into this park, I did not expect there would not be a starving man here to paint my picture. What's the meaning of this, Usagi? You're being selfish, being the only one drawn. And the girls tell her to calm down, but she's like, what are you saying? Not drawing me? Beautiful, elegant Ray? What would artists paint instead? Everybody's weirded out.
I know.
But Ray says, let's split up and look for him.
This is important, guys.
They do. Usagi and Chibi head out. But Usagi figures the only clue they have is the picture that he did of her.
Uh-huh.
But it's got no writing on it. Or does it? On the back,
Convenient.
Chibi sees some writing. And it says, Miss Tsukino, you truly saved my life. I've been hungry several times before, but you were the first person to invite me to your house and give me a meal. Chibi's got a high reading level. She can read all this.
I know.
He writes, I'm rather shy and couldn't give you proper thanks, but I'll never forget the taste of the fried rice that you made me. I'll pay you back for the silverware as soon as I can. I also took some toilet paper from your bathroom for art purposes.
Oh my God.
Chibi says, I want to see Mr. Kamoi again. And Usagi says, I haven't said thank you for the picture yet either. Should we check the city morgue? Let's go.
Oh my God.
Before they can, though, Usagi sees Luna walking along the wall of a nearby house. Mm-hmm. They run over to her, and she says, hey, I feel an evil presence here. From this
House.
Yes.
On the grounds of this house, we see that it's a huge house, a palatial estate. Mm-hmm. And it has one of those fountains where a statue is holding a jug and water flows out of it. At least, I think it's holding a jug. We see it from far away. Inside, behind French windows, we see the artist painting CereCere. And we also see the statue up close, and nope, it's a kid pissing.
Yeah.
It's kid pissing.
It's a kid pissing.
I didn't know that was a real fountain type. I thought that was only a sight gag in the movie The Money Pit.
Prostate trouble?
I didn't know it was real either.
Who would want a fountain like that?
I don't know. And it's like a child, too. It's
Well,
like...
It's a cherub.
You're right. It is a
Yes.
cherub.
Well, this didn't make it onto US TV. Siri is posing in a chair and she says, how is it turning out? Can I see it? And he shows it to her and he says, I think I'm getting a good atmosphere in this place. It's good vibes. Weird question. Is your medicine cabinet locked?
Oh my God.
Siri walks over, looks at the picture and says, this is me? It doesn't look like me at all. I have much cuter eyes. No, you got to redraw this. But Kamoi says, I don't have to redraw anything. I can't paint a lie, man.
Oh my God.
Siri leans in and says, I don't think you get it. In order for you to make the kind of art you want, you need a first-rate environment to paint in. You get what I'm laying down? Cash, grass, or ass, no one paints for free.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to ask you once more. My eyes are cuter than that, right? Kamoi does an Arthur hand,
The fist.
and says,
Yes.
I didn't come here for something like that. And I was told there'd be inedible fried rice here. Cere says, oh, well, I guess you'll return to your life of poverty. Oh, okay, great. Whether you grasp your dream or toss it away, it's up to you. This hits Kamoi, and he thinks, dream? And Cere continues, will your art be nurtured in a poverty-stricken lifestyle? So what are you going to do? And Kamoi says, all right, I'll do what you say. And he slumps back into his chair, getting some Sunset Boulevard vibes here.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
I think there's enough for a great picture. There's probably enough for 6 great pictures. But what you say, it's like sometimes there's a certain pleasure in seeing how bad writing can be.
Yeah.
When he's reading a script.
We didn't need dialogue. We had faces.
Out by the pissing boy, Usagi, Chibi, and Luna have snuck up on the grounds, but Usagi is worried that they'll get in trouble. But Luna says, hey, I'm a cat. I can do this alone.
Yes.
We never see her again.
That was true.
Inside, Kamoi's painting is already framed and on the wall, and Cere is admiring it. And I guess it's got the changes that she wanted, but I can't really tell. It's that whole, art in a show that is art.
Yes.
Like a drawing inside of a drawing. Cere is sitting at a table having tea with our artist, and she says, it makes me fall in love with myself. But Kamoi says, I'm not feeling well. Please let me lay down for a while. Preferably in the bedroom and where you keep all your jewelry.
Oh my God.
He gets up to leave, but Cere says, one moment. I have one more thing for you to do. And she stands up and takes off all her clothes because she's now in her circus togs.
That's right.
That's why. Kamoi must be like, oh, thank God. She's going to kill me. I thought this was going to get really weird.
Oh my God.
Through the outside windows, Usagi and Chibi see this happen. Cere spins her cue stick around. She got another one.
Yep.
Broke it before.
Yes.
Just go down and get another one. And she says, your dream mirror. I'm going to look at it. She lines up her shot, but we hear, hold it right there. And hold it right there, show. No way. I'm calling shenanigans. I counted and it was 7 seconds from the time that Chibi and Usagi saw Cere through the window to the point where they interrupt. What do they transform on fast forward? For 155 episodes and 3 movies, they've been using the transformation sequence to pad this out. And now it's just, whoa, hey, we're here. We're heroes.
That's weird. That's a really good point.
They're just like, what's going on? Hold it right there. No way, show. No way.
We know how long it takes for them to transform. Do the whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Anyway, they say, to fool a pure, innocent, beautiful artist living an innocent but poor life. That's 2 innocents.
Very innocent.
I can't forgive you. In the name of the moon, we'll punish you. Cere says, well, it's that odd couple again. And Sailor Moon says, how rude. And Chibi says, it's true that she's on the bigger end, but it doesn't mean that she meant oh by it. And Usagi says, she's calling us that because you're short. And Chibi says, I can't help it, I'm still a child. This was weird.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it, but we got to do a double translation rewind to find out what's going on here. In the new Viz sub, Cere says, if it isn't doofus and dumpy. Now that's an interpretation.
That's a little
It's
clunky.
gotta be, right?
Yeah.
And Chibi says, hey, she's a doofus, but don't hold it against her. And Usagi says, she called us that because you're such a shrimp. And Chibi says, hey, I'm a kid. So it's like if you put them both together,
Yeah.
like take half of one and half of the other, it kind of makes sense.
It kind of makes sense.
Like they're an
Yeah.
odd couple, which I don't think immediately, to me it suggests, a guy that's very fastidious
Yes.
and a guy that,
He's a
will throw
slob.
spaghetti against the wall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But apparently it can also mean like a tall skinny one and a short fat one or something like that.
I guess.
Yeah. And so they're trying to throw the fat onto, if she's the doofus,
Yes.
that makes her the dummy or dumpy or whatever.
I guess.
Or vice versa. So if you take both take the first part, which refers to size, and the second part of the other one that refers to size, and it all works.
Sure.
But my thing is, if you're going to fix it, new Viz sub. Fix it all the way.
Yeah.
Don't further ruin it by adding new stuff that doesn't fit the bit from the first thing.
Yeah. What was it, like Doofus and... I don't remember.
And where's Luna?
Yeah, where is Luna? She was
Anyway.
going to do some snooping on her own.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to need a concordance and a Japanese dictionary to get through this part. But Siri is like, hello. And we cut back to Chibi and Sailor Moon, and they're in mid, like, Homer and Bart struggle. Trying to
Right.
kill each other. They're like, what? And Siri's like, do you play billiards? And they're like, Siri's like,
You like baseball?
we need lights for the park at night so the kids can play baseball. Man, everybody likes baseball. Right? Anyway, they're like, what's billiards? Is that like shooting pool? And Siri says, that's right! Colliding ball! And she shoots her shot at them. They're knocked out of the way. If they get hit, would their mirrors come out?
Substantially,
we've been down that
yes.
road. We've been down that road.
Yes.
Actually, Siri was this close to completing her mission.
She was.
But instead, the ball just knocks them aside for some reason.
It's weird.
Because of laziness.
Yes.
And the ball bounces until it hits Kamoi in the back, knocking out his mirror. But sorry, Charlie, it's not a golden mirror.
Come on, Charlie. Let's get out of here.
Siri says, what? Not only is this not a golden mirror, but there's no beautiful dream in it. And Chibi from the floor says, that's not true. Mr. Kamoi has a very beautiful dream. The Big Rock Candy Mountain. Siri says, I don't need his dirty mirror. Flower lemur, dream-eating rose, toge. And out of her shadow arises a plant lady. Really quick, here's a sketch. She's got legs coming out of a pot.
Yep.
And out of the pot is growing a bush with arms and a head and a giant rose on top.
Yeah.
2-part Yoma. Boom, done.
Yeah, exactly.
If you cut the stem, I don't know what happens. Lots
she'd
of blood.
die. Yeah,
Toge
exactly.
says, I don't want this mirror. It's dirty. And Siri's like, stop being so picky. She grabs the mirror and she tries to stuff it into the lemur's mouth.
Yes.
Saying, you don't get likes and dislikes when it comes to food. And Sailor Moon is like, now, Chibi Moon? Chibi raises her carol on and with a twinkle yell, summons Pegasus. Pegasus says, it's been a weird one this week, huh, folks? I don't really have anything to say, but I'll be back next week. Hang in there, folks.
Oh my god.
Just after Pegasus arrives, Siri manages to jam the mirror into her lemur.
Yeah, apparently.
But Sailor Moon gives with the MGM and immediately kills the lemur.
Yes.
And Toge's for the last time. Siri says, well, it won't be like this next time. And she balls out. Sailor Moon says to Chibi, let's get Mr. Kamoi's mirror back to him. And Chibi looks distressed. But Usagi says, don't worry. I'm sure he'll get a beautiful dream back. And Chibi says, which is yes in Japanese.
Exactly.
Mr. Kamoi awakes to see Sailor Moon and Chibi standing near the window, and he says, so you're the ones that saved me. Feels like I've had a long dream. There was a lake of stew and of whiskey, too. We can paddle all around in a big canoe.
What?
The Big Rock Candy Mountain.
Oh my god.
Chibi says, did you dream of being rich? And Kamoi says, no, it's confining to have what you're not used to having.
Things you own end up owning you.
I didn't think lying to myself was this tough. It's back to square one. I know one thing, though. I'm leaving a sign outside that a dishonest woman lives here. Thanks.
Oh my god.
There's a hobo code. Hobo
Oh, oh god, okay.
Later in the park, Ray has gotten her picture done by Mr. Kamoi. And guess what? She doesn't like it.
Of course she doesn't.
And Usagi's like, it looks just like you. And they're going to fight.
Yes.
But Chibi says, Mr. Kamoi, I have something to show you. And it's the drawing that she did of Usagi.
Yes.
Did she get a grade on it?
I don't know. I don't know if she made any changes or she got a grade or what.
They didn't care, but they do show us the picture again, and there is a flower drawn on it that's just like superimposed. Now that just might be like an accent that Chibi has decided to add. But I was thinking, is that her? Did she get is it a stamp? Did she get a crocodile in spelling?
Yeah, right.
Is
That's
that
what I was
what's going
thinking.
on?
That's what I'm thinking. Arrested Development. She got a
Right.
flower.
Yeah. They either excel and get an E, or they fluctuate and
Yeah.
get an F.
It's called openings.
He's like, wow, but wait, I couldn't accept something so precious. He's like, yeah, wow, oh no, I couldn't take that.
I couldn't possibly.
Chibi says, you're the first person to have complimented it, so it's yours. And he says, I'll keep it as a lesson for my heart. Hey, I complimented some of your dad's underwear too.
Oh my God. What?
He says, what's the title of this drawing? And she says, it's a secret between the two of us. I call it The Person I Look Up To. And he's like, there's nothing in my stomach, and I still want to throw up.
Oh my God. Really? I thought it was kind of sweet.
The end.
It is the end.
We're going to get to the main points.
Okay.
Let's save that.
Okay.
Let's get out of here under 35 minutes for the first time ever. Actually, it's probably too late for that. What is up with people in these pictures?
Like
Is
them
there
not
a
liking
joke?
them?
Yes. Because the wicked and the just both don't like their pictures.
Yeah.
Now, I want to save the discussion about how Mr. Kamoi is a terrible artist for later.
Yeah.
We can have
Okay.
that one later.
Okay.
But is this a thing? I have a friend who is an artist, amongst other things. He's a very talented artist. But he has been a caricature artist for 20 years, I think.
Yeah.
And he's told me all kinds of stories.
I'm sure he has.
And it doesn't
tons of
happen
stories.
often. And part of it's because we're in the politest state in the union. But sometimes, usually people are like, oh, thanks. And you can tell whether that thing, I know nothing, but they still pay for it. It's fine.
Yeah.
$20, by the way.
Right. Right.
20,000 yen. I don't know how much it is. But there are people who are sometimes like, not paying for that. He's like, all right, here's the deal. You're going to pay me, $10 or whatever. You're going to pay me for my time for half of it.
Yeah.
And you can keep it or I'll just throw it away.
Right.
And he's learned to just be like, look, you sat down.
Yeah.
This
right.
took 45 minutes. Doesn't however long it takes.
Yeah.
But most people are like, yeah, all right. It's a caricature.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he's not like going for it either. He's not
Right.
like Al Hirshfield or whatever. He's just, exaggerating a little bit. People look kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's for good times. There
That's
you
what
go.
a character artist is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's up in the thing? Is this some kind of joke that I'm supposed to get? Is this a cultural thing or something?
I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's just like people seeing themselves differently than. But it also is like
This
it's
is the only
very...
anime podcast where you're going to get an Al Hirshfield reference too. I just want you to know the value.
I don't know who that
listeners. I
is.
know that you don't know.
But like I feel like it's very specific because it's like the eyes mostly. I feel
This is a bigger question than you're making it a bigger thing.
I am okay.
I don't get this bit because I guess I've never been painted enough. I've been drawn by my friend a couple times.
Sure.
And I feel like he gets me. And if I had to think that, like, I don't know, like how big my nose is or something like that, I'm like, well, take it up with God. Like, I understand that.
Right.
But every single character who is depicted is like, I don't like this.
I know.
And is it exposing the vanity of everybody? Because in that case, then we're back to the whole, this is a feminist show, but at the same time, it's anti-feminist because we are just canonizing the idea that all women are vain and have a different idea about how they look. It's the whole like
that's definitely part of it.
Profile picture, tagged picture. Like,
yes.
right?
Yeah. I can relate.
But like, why is this show doing that? And
I
I just
don't
wanted to know
know
if you knew if there was some running Japanese joke that I didn't get. But I think it's just the thing where they're all vain.
I think it's a
because
thing
they're all girls.
They're vain, but I also feel like it might be partly him being like
A bad artist.
Yeah, being like, well, that's not how they look, so I'm not gonna, give them a little flourish, a little extra sparkle in their eyes. I'm not gonna do that because that's not what's real, man.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
It's like
Yeah.
You're
homeless, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
sorry, you're food insecure, right?
So wait, sorry, food insecure, yeah. You are unhoused, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. We don't know, but
seems to be.
Let's go back to your squat.
he has like a bunch of paintings, right? So are these all like paintings that people like didn't take and he's just showing them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. That's really sad.
Yes.
It's very sad.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
He's got examples of his art. Yeah, that's what they are.
Exactly.
Oh, I know her. I work with her. Oh, he feeds the squirrels every day. Look, it's the cop on the corner.
Oh my God.
They all look mad. And their eyes are all really close together. Get this guy some glasses. Let's talk about F is for fake.
Okay.
Do people know about F is for fake?
I don't think that many people know about F is for fake.
Let me say Oya about 73 times in my Orson Welles impression.
Okay.
You'll know everything there is to know. But F is for Fake is a movie, it's a documentary by Orson Welles. And it was probably really of its time. It's the hot zeitgeist when it came out. Now, nobody knows who any of these people are.
No.
Except maybe Pablo Picasso.
Right.
But it's about a art forger who several years before had been quote unquote exposed by this book that a guy had written about him. Mm-hmm. And so it's nominally an exploration of this guy in his life. But it turns out that the guy who wrote the book himself was famous and sort of notorious at the time.
Sure.
Because he had perpetrated this hoax where he had he had come up with all these interesting stories and this expose on Howard Hughes, the reclusive billionaire.
Right.
And then supposedly there's also maybe some wire fraud too, because he got somebody to try to cash a check in his name.
Okay.
He did a little time for it.
Okay.
But anyway, he supposedly he had these hot interviews. He had interviewed Howard Hughes and he got all this information. And then later Howard Hughes had to go on the TV and say that wasn't me. But Howard Hughes is a recluse, so his appearance on TV was through a microphone, like a speaker basically,
my
that they
God.
filmed and everybody was watching. And so the movie is about what's real. That's what the movie's about.
Yeah, right.
This guy who does all these paintings, these fakes, supposedly he is so good. And you see him, he does some stuff on camera during the movie. And his stuff is I guess I'm not an art expert, but it looks good.
It does
and
look
supposedly he has done Matisse's and Picasso's, and he's done all these works that have been taken for real Matisse's. Picasso would really get mad that I mixed their names up. But supposedly there are real fake works hanging in museums that people think are those artists' real works, and they're this guy's work. Yeah. But the report about all that work that he did was done by this guy who is himself a fraud because he did this thing with Howard Hughes. Yeah. Then the entire movie is hosted and produced and written by Orson Welles, a man who became famous for pulling a fraud on America in the form of the War of the Worlds.
Yes.
And so all of these things come together and they're all layered, and it's just very interesting. I don't know what it's good for. I don't know what it does. I don't know if it's art, but I know I like it. And it's this amazing documentary, and it just got me thinking about what is art? And nobody in the movie really has any pretensions.
No.
The guy who does the forgeries, he'll do one for you and he's pretty good, right? Yeah, into the fire. And he just burns his work in front of you. Yeah. Because part of the reason that he's doing this is not only because he can sell them for money, which I suppose is art fraud. Yeah. But also he eschews the very idea of not only the expert, the person who can tell. You have no faith in these people because they look at your work that you did this morning and go, this is a Picasso. And you go, well, obviously authority and expertise means nothing.
Right.
Beauty in this case is literally in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
But the beholder beholding $18,000 and I need that money, please. You know? And so it's it's a very cynical look at art. This guy, Mr. Kamoi, I don't know where he fits in this scale. And I don't know if he would be interesting, but he maybe could have been another chapter in F is for Fake, because he's the opposite of the successful forger. He apparently can't do anything that anybody likes.
I know, they all hate it.
And he thinks that he's going to be famous for some reason.
A real artist in
and
his
he has
Donald
some
Duck
dream.
Yeah.
And yet they call him dirty.
Yes.
And we have to save it. We're going to save it.
Are we saving it? Okay.
Unlike this episode and this larger show at this time, we understand drama. So for the second half of our discussion about this dirty artist that nobody likes,
Okay.
we'll be right back.
All of you relax. This is a matter of inconvenient timing, that's all. Rebooting the podcast was inevitable. This is simply the beginning. I thought I told all of you I want broadcast silence until further...
Ooh, I'm very sorry, Cal. I didn't get that message. Maybe you should have put it on Twitter. I figured since you were relaunching the Just Enough Trope podcast, you might be a little lonely, so I decided to be your co-host.
That's very kind of you. I assume you're our mysterious podcaster. You're most troublesome for a Sailor Moon fan?
Sorry, Cal. Wrong guess. Would you like to go for an all-new show where the hosts haven't really changed?
Who are you, then?
Just a fly in the ointment, Cal. The dye in the hard, the moon in the lighting.
She's talking about the rebooted Just Enough Trope, where we'll dive deep into the pop culture elements that make up your favorite movies, TV shows, comics, and video games. See if she's lying about moonlighting and find out if Bruno has returned.
No, respect yourself.
Miss Mystery Guest, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Unless you want to sing a duet with me.
No, I'm afraid not. But you have me at a loss. You know my name, but who are you? Just another podcast host who saw too many movies as a child? Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks she's John McClane, Corbin Dallas, a crooning Alcapop pitchman?
I was always kind of partial to Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler, actually. It's wet and it's dry.
Do you really think you have a chance with this new show, Ms. Co-host?
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Cooler.
Just Enough Trope, 40 stories of sheer pop culture deconstruction. Available everywhere you listen to your favorite shows.
Do I sound like I'm ordering a podcast?
Today for Kyoro Kyoro Miru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, we're going to be talking about sumi-e, or Japanese ink painting.
Sumi-e.
Sumi-e, yes.
Sumi-e. I got a lot of lawyers.
That's right.
You sue me, I say yay. This is like ink wash drawing?
Yeah, it's like ink wash painting. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a style of painting that started in China, and it uses washes of black ink, such as that's used in East Asian calligraphy in different concentrations of ink and water.
Is this the stone thing?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
I'll
let you tell it.
Okay. Well, we'll get to it eventually. But it emerged during the Tang Dynasty of China, which was around 618 to 907. And it differentiated itself from earlier, more realistic techniques. So it's more, it's like you get a vibe from the subject of the art. You know, it's not like super realistic painting of a vase or something like that. It's like...
The Tang Dynasty was a powdered dynasty.
Yeah.
Like the there's a bird, couple birds.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes, like that.
And then maybe there's like the background is kind of dark, not fully dark, but it's sort of like charcoaled.
Yes.
Behind them.
Yes.
And it's like some birds.
Some branches, like maybe some plum tree branches
coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some birds.
Oh yeah, I'd like a General Tso's, please. See, this is like a Chinese restaurant.
Oh my god. So it is typically monochrome, using only shades of black, with great emphasis on virtuoso brushwork and conveying the perceived spirit or essence of a subject over direct rendition. They do like as the art form moves forward, though, they do sometimes add in like pops of color, but it is largely just the black ink.
They Turnerize it.
They what?
Ted Turner.
Ted Turnerize it?
Yeah, they colorize it.
Oh god. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Like,
I get it.
Come on, but what if you could see what color Bogey's trench coat is when he's talking to Elsa?
Right.
It's beige. Wow. What an improvement.
Yeah. Yes. Inkwash painting flourished from the Song Dynasty in China in 960 to 1279 onwards. The term in Japanese is sumi-e, which means black ink, sumi, and painting, e. So it is mostly monochrome, but yet, like I said, occasionally uses pops of color. In Japan, the style was introduced in the 14th century during the Muromachi period, which was 1333 to 1573, through Zen Buddhist monasteries. So, I mean, like a lot of things coming to from China to Japan by the Zen Buddhist priests.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yes.
Suck it up, you charcoal sponge.
Oh my God.
Because the prints are coming.
Oh my God.
Nobody's gonna want your little charcoal drawings.
You're right. That is coming for sure. In particular, Josetsu, a painter who immigrated from China and taught the first major early painter, Tensho Shunbun. So you could say that Josetsu was the Mr. Sumi-e, because he's comes from China to bring the art to Japan.
I guess you could say that.
Well, Josetsu was naturalized.
If there was another guy that came, and said, "You didn't do it, I did," then he sued him. And he'd be like, "Hey, I guess I'm Mr. Sumi-e." There, I made it work.
Okay, all right,
Move
great.
on.
Josetsu was naturalized in 1470, so he became a citizen and is known as, quote, the father of Japanese ink painting. The best known of Josetsu's paintings belongs to Taizo-in, a sub-temple of Myoshinji in Kyoto, which is entitled Catching a Catfish with a Gourd, which was painted around 1413. It shows a comical-looking man fishing against a background of a winding river and a bamboo grove, and is thought to have been inspired by a riddle set by the Ashikaga shogun. Quote, "How do you catch a catfish with a gourd?" is the riddle.
Dastardly. With a gourd, Batman.
With a gourd!
That's right.
It can be viewed as a piece of Zen humor or as a koan, like a Zen koan, in visual form designed to provoke the viewer into new ways of seeing. So.
How was that? You just use a gourd.
But it's like a weird shaped gourd. Like, like that. It's like.
No, what? Come on.
It's like.
You can use your hands. It's a catfish. It's just on the bottom. Or you use a gourd.
Yeah, but it's like.
That's not like one hand clapping.
Okay, all right. But the proportions, this fish is much bigger than the gourd seems to be.
How do you chase a dogfish? With a catfish, Batman.
Oh my God.
Whatever. What? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's that a koan?
Well, like, I swear when you see it, it looks like the gourd, there's no way that gourd could catch that fish. Because it seems like it's too small. Maybe it's just a perspective thing. I don't know.
The doctor was his mother.
Both Shubun and his pupil Sesshu Toyu were monks, although Sesshu eventually left the clergy and spent a year or so in China studying painting. By the end of the period, the style had been adopted by several professional or commercial artists, especially from the large Kano school founded by Kano Masanobu. In the Japanese way, the most promising pupils married daughters of the family and changed their names to Kano. So, he
family business.
Yeah, if he has daughters, the best pupils would marry them, and then they'd take the Kano name. So, yeah.
Do you just go? Is it a conveyor belt? How does it work?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like, you are one of my better students. Would you like to marry my daughter?
Right.
Right, and carry on my name.
Right. We've sold off the. We're out of the 29-year-old, but we got a nice 17-year-old.
Right. There you go.
The 12-year-old, we sell no wine for its time here. But do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
If it's not for love, it's just you're just matching them up.
Yeah.
Just marrying them off.
Yeah.
You go top down or bottom up.
I think you'd go top down. That's what I think.
You would think.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't want to have an old maid with your best. Or it's like, do the best drawers get like the youngest or the hottest daughters?
Oh, come on.
The father's like, all right, We all know who the prize is here.
Oh,
right?
my
It's
God.
Kiko. We all know that. All right. So everybody draw a picture of Kiko. Go on.
Oh my God.
All right. Pencils down.
Oh my God.
This doesn't look anything like me.
That'd be horrible.
Well, she gets a
horrifying.
pick.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little better, I guess, based off the drawing.
Yeah.
The smaller, more purist, and less flamboyant Hasegawa school was founded by Hasegawa Tohaku and lasted until the 18th century. The Nanga, meaning southern painting, or Bunjinga literati style or school, ran through the 18th century until the death of Tomioka Tesai, who is widely regarded as the last of the Nanga artists. And it's a style of painting that it's like, this is the southern style,
Right.
and then this is the northern style.
Yeah, this is the crunk style.
We do it like this.
This is...
Ee-oo, ee-oo, ee-oo. They do it like that. Yeah.
right,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
You can do this show by yourself.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
You have all the tools.
Hasegawa is considered one of the great painters of the Azuchi Momoya period, which was 1573 to 1603. And he is best known for his byobu folding screens, such as pine trees and pine tree and flowering plants, both registered as national treasures, or the paintings in walls and sliding doors at the Chishaku Inn attributed to him and his son, which are also national treasures. And he was a lot of national treasures here, okay?
I'm gonna steal the Chisaku Inn. That's from National Treasure.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage.
I got you. He was deeply influenced by Chinese paintings of Song Dynasty, especially Liang Kai and Mochi. Those are artists.
An artist named Mochi?
Yeah, it's pronounced like Mochi, but it's spelled Muqi. It's Chinese. I don't know. It sounds like mochi.
Okay, so it means like estate tax or something like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Like the rice.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I could see somebody being an artist nowadays.
That's
and
what
calling
like
themselves
harder than
mochi.
Chinese homophones. Like we said that already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A Japanese innovation of the Azuchi Momoyama period was the use of monochrome style on a much larger scale in byobu folding screens, which we talked about, often produced in sets so they ran all around even large rooms. The Shorinzu byobu of about 1595 is a famous example. Only around 15% of the paper is painted. So that kind of gives you an idea. Like, this is minimalist painting. We're just giving you an idea of a vibe, for nature here,
The Japanese Rothko.
Yeah. All right.
You're like, I don't get it. It's a pine branch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all this empty space here.
Yeah, exactly. There's tons
That's
of
not-
empty space.
It's not a pine branch. Consider.
Throughout China's history, scholars transcribed documents and the writing of literature. These literati were used to using brush and ink on paper. During the Southern Song Dynasty, many began to add simple paintings to their poetry. Their unembellished but sometimes audacious use of brushwork would frequently encapsulate the essence of the subject and would convey a wide range of expression. Over time, the brushstrokes were minimized and streamlined and were frequently combined with poetry to create the sumi-e style that is known today. The focus of sumi-e since its foundation has been on the quality of the line. So it's all about form. Just with any art form, the artist must have the proper tools to produce their art. Brushes are one of the most important tools for this art form. They are made from natural bristles, horse, badger, goat, ox, weasel, etc. They vary in size, shape, length, and bristle type. When you finish painting, you need to, this is very important. You need to wash the brush at once with cold water. Warm or hot water will harm the brushes as they are often made with glue and would dissolve over time. So you rinse it with cold water, you press and squeeze and gently twist several times, and then kind of pat it dry with like these days anyways, like a paper towel, and then hang it up to dry as well. So because these are your tools, this is very important.
Something.
Yeah.
What was the ancient paper towel?
I mean, it'd just be a towel, wouldn't it? Like just something absorbent.
Kid leather chamois or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably. Yeah.
Birch bark.
Birch bark. I could see like some like an animal skin.
The bounty guy's just holding a log. It's just like
God.
now with 2-ply.
Oh my God.
4 sheets. Not birch bark.
Oh, it sounds very uncomfortable.
Extra thick.
Oh my God. The carbon for sumi ink comes from 3 original sources. Rapeseed oil, when burned, yeah, I know, produces soot that has in-depth blackness. Pine sap, when burned, produces soot, which has a quality of translucency. And when the ink is thinned, the tone ranges from light black to bluish gray.
Yeah, go into Blix and ask for rapeseed oil.
Yeah, I know, right? Industrial oils are utilized to make inexpensive sumi that has a brown tone to it. Sumi ink is often made into bars. The ink bars are dissolved with water when rubbing them on a specific sumi-e stone known as a suzuri stone.
We thought it would be funny if we replaced this man's soap with a sumi ink bar. Let's watch.
That would
I don't get clean.
Be something.
I'm not getting clean.
I'm using this very vigorously. The stones are typically rectangular, and it includes areas on which the sumi ink is rubbed and has a small area that holds water. To make the ink ready, you fill the water area approximately 2/3 full. Then you dip the bar in the water, bringing some of the water along with it to the stone surface and start a circular rubbing movement. And the movement has to be constant, clean, and potent without using too much pressure. So it's something you definitely you have to practice before you're going to be good at it. But it's important.
The Japanese. Everything has to be done right.
Yeah, the way.
Yeah.
This is the way.
Maybe some things are just doing things.
It's possible.
They're like, hold on, slow down. You're rubbing your inkstone too fast.
I know. I noticed you were rubbing your inkstone a little fast today.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow that down.
Feel the way.
That's right.
Be the stone.
Exactly. It's very zen. What is frequently called rice paper is actually made from the mulberry plant, or kozo. Around the beginning of the 20th century, a type of paper made from the Tetrapanax papyrifera plant, commonly known as rice paper plant today.
Now we got some paper towels.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Was imported to Europe from Asia.
Mulberry paper is awesome. Why isn't it called mulberry paper?
I don't know.
That's a cool name.
It is a cool name. I guess you can blame it on Europe most likely, because this paper was often called rice paper due to its...
it's from China.
It was bright white hue and its Asian origins. So I think you can blame Europe for that one.
That's the Middle Ages version of the ricers.
Yeah.
Which is the zippy cars that... are stereotypically loved by the Asian guys, the dudes that get in there.
Yeah,
with
that's
spoiler.
great.
Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
The ricers. It's like
that's racist. Yeah,
that's racist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess rice paper is kind of racist, unfortunately.
Well,
that's what it's known as now.
Hashtag mulberry paper.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah. Right. Ink will not expand out easily on these smooth white papers, which makes them ideal for painting and calligraphy. The thinness of the paper is important to think about as well as of the manner you plan to display your sumi-e work. If the work is to be displayed as a hanging scroll, which is the traditional way, and a lot of sumi-e work is on a scroll, it will be rolled tightly for storage, and so it should be done on thin paper. So you're not going to... So you'll preserve the drawing more easily.
Yeah.
Retouches, decorations, and additions do not enhance sumi-e, but instead hide its true essence. Like with cooking, if you add too many spices, it'll spoil your creation.
Yeah. Slow down.
That's right. Just as in Zen, few words are enough to communicate the meaning of many hours of meditation, in sumi-e, a few strokes of black ink painted with a brush on a simple sheet of white paper can represent the most complicated ideal. One must learn to express the nature of the subject in order to get its true essence across.
Well, that's just art.
You're not wrong.
Do you know what I mean?
They're just getting very philosophical about it.
Yeah,
okay?
about everything.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, we've talked before about memes. Arthur Hand. I don't mean like internet memes. I mean like the idea of something that just clicks, but then you can even take it to another completely detached society, you know, and it also clicks.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, you know, white people, maybe they're like big into Orientalism, but like you see,
yeah,
you get like one of those things that, like the calligraphy where it's just like a framed thing, and it's just like some characters or something like that, and it's on the blank background. It just looks cool.
It does look cool. I agree.
Yeah, they think so. We think so.
Yeah,
there's something to that.
I absolutely 100% agree. And I'm gonna quote, and I have something that's interesting to talk about, but I'm gonna quote the Seattle Artists League for this specifically. They state, quote, "The four gentlemen refers to four subjects that most painting students learn first because they include all of the basic strokes. They also represent the four seasons. Bamboo represents summer and is the symbol of endurance and flexibility. Chrysanthemum represents fall and it's a symbol of strength and perseverance. Plum branch represents winter. The plum branch is the first flower to break the winter's hold. It represents the joy of renewal and the promise of life. An orchid is spring, symbol of the bright promise of beauty."
Woo!
Yeah. This is a real thing. This is something called the Four Gentlemen, and it refers to these specific things. And it is in Chinese ink painting, your ink painting that went all over. This is,
Mr. Brown.
That's right.
Mr. Blonde. Mr. Pink.
You got it. Mr.
Purple.
Bamboo, Mr. Chrysanthemum, Mr. Plum, Mr. Orchid. Yeah, exactly. An aphorism states, quote, "Sumi is black and yet it is not black," end quote. In other words, black. Yeah, exactly. In other words, black ink in a painting suggests many things, including the whole range of colors. A serious sumi-e artist should explore and investigate the range of color and utilize the sumi ink that provides the best results for their creative expression.
Do they mean like the intensity, or the saturation of the ink would suggest other colors?
Yes.
So they invented like black and white cinematography like in their painting.
Kind of, yeah.
Basically.
Yes.
So I like the first part and the last part of The Wizard of Oz. The middle, I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Right back to the Ted Turner. Ted Turner I wonder what he thinks about Japan.
I don't know.
Give me that marker.
Oh my God.
I'm going to fix this painting.
But like, yeah, it's all about the intensity of the ink and how concentrated it is. And yeah, sometimes they add a pop of color for the flowers or the birds or what have you, but...
There you go. Paint a rainbow. But just with the black ink.
Oh, see, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that.
I just graduated from Japanese art school.
Yeah, I think you did.
I have a degree in sumi-e. Please don't sue me.
I won't.
Yeah.
I won't sue you. Itadakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? Chibiusa told Usagi that if she was the subject for a drawing, she would buy her nikuman or pork buns. We later see both Usagi and Chibi walking and eating nikuman, and Usagi has a whole bag full of the buns. The food that Usagi, and she's, of course, eating them while Kamoi is painting her, too. But the food that Usagi and Chibi tried to cook for Kamoi, I found this on one of our Sailor Moon sites, was seafood paella, apparently. I don't know why we were going so fancy. It couldn't have just been fried rice.
He says fried rice.
He does say fried rice.
And I heard the word Gohan come out in the air.
Yeah.
So why is it paella? It's just...
That's what they said it was.
Who did?
It was on like the Sailor Moon wiki pages.
Okay, but they just saw a shrimp
I think
tail
you're
and
right.
they thought it was paella. It's just shrimp fried rice.
Yeah, I think you're probably
that they
right.
made badly.
They made it very badly.
And
they
threw
burned
some
it.
lotus root in there, because what the hell?
Yes, exactly.
And a lemon on top.
In a letter on the back of his painting, Kamoi thanks Usagi for bringing him to her house and feeding him. CereCere and Kamoi have some tea after he finished painting her portrait. Feeling Gauge, we rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The lemur in this episode is Toge Toge Jo, or Miss Toge Toge the Dream Eating Rose. Toge Toge, or Toge Toge She, means something sharp, thorny, stingy, or harsh, like the thorns on a rose. So, that's...
Every rose has its toge.
That's right.
Just like every night has its doge. Yeah. How do you say rose in Japanese? It's not toge.
No, I don't know how you say
That
rose
would be
in Japanese.
emphasizing the thorns.
Yes.
And not the beauty.
That's right.
They must have some proverb about how, like, oh, it's a beautiful
Thorns
thing.
and beauty. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm positive. I just don't know what it is.
You like poison?
What?
That's so twisted. That's just so up my own ass. Yes, they love hair metal. I'm sure they love poison, but they must have some saying like that.
I'm sure they do. The lemur design, she has pink skin, pointy ears, and long pointy fingernails. She has a large yellow rose on her head, as well as some green leaves. Her chest is green leaves with a creepy face in it. Her abdomen is a large thorny stem that comes out of a pot bikini. And she has humanoid legs with at least one pointy vine around her left leg. And she has humanoid arms with yellow roses on her shoulders and mint green sleeves that have pointed cuffs. The design is out there and it's a little creepy, especially the bikini pot. I think that's very unsettling, to say the least. But we didn't get to see her do much of anything. She didn't want to eat the dream mirror because it was dirty, but she was forced to. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We didn't really get to see her that much. She didn't really do that much. I mean, I don't think she's, like, horrible, but not great. I'm going to give her a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to give her a 1.
Okay, that's fair.
Here's the deal, and I'm going to spoil my take a bow rating as well. You can't wear a hat, plant lady. You've got a giant rose on your head.
Yeah.
But just saying, oh, I didn't do anything. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
You didn't. And so I just can't give you anything by every standard that I have used up to this point to rate how the Yomas go, because they all look goofy. They all sometimes look cool or have good things, but it's a measure of what they accomplish, and it's also a measure of their realized potential. And the fact that this one doesn't do anything means it gets a 1.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Take a bow or a rating on how our villains left the stage of life. She does jazz hands. She does the jazz hands, and she says, "I haven't done anything yet. Stage out, Toge." So that's a 1 out of 5.
That's a 1 for me too.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
Yeah.
You ever feel like how many paintings does this cost? How many yen is it to make one of these episodes?
Yeah.
You ever feel like maybe they should have just saved the money?
Sometimes, because it feels like they're just going through the motions.
God. Oh my God.
I don't know. I mean, it's
so many motions.
It's fun to talk about it, but it's torturous too, you know?
I make no guarantees. I make no guarantees about that.
I do have some trivia for this episode. The dream mirror in this episode was different from any others in the series. It was gray and tarnished because its owner had betrayed his dream and or didn't believe in his dream anymore.
It's way too late to introduce that.
I know, but this is the only time it happens.
And I'll tell you,
apparently,
that I know that because you said that.
I know.
So
it's not clear.
Whatever helpful person who has a Sailor Moon wiki who interpreted that on their own, because I know it doesn't say that anywhere, unless they have a copy of the original script,
right,
or the treatment, just came up with that, and then you told me, and so now I know that's what it is.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And the lemur didn't want to eat it because it looked dirty.
Right.
So, but that's why.
Yeah.
But maybe like make it more obvious that that's what's going on.
Yeah. Deciding to have an affair with Sexy Horseman, that's not betraying your dream. Not delivering mommy's pickles upon demand.
Yeah.
That's not betraying your dream.
That's right. That's right.
But actually getting paid for your work. That's betraying
your dream.
I think it's time now to talk about the artist.
Yes. Let's talk about him.
The artist formerly known as Mr. Kamoi.
Yes.
There is some dumb lesson about integrity being taught in this episode, but I don't think that the episode even believes it.
No.
Sometimes this show, because of cultural things, because of it being in the 90s and being unsophisticated, or just being a kid show and being unsophisticated, has lessons that are like, that's not a great lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, we shouldn't teach people that.
Right.
But you literally have a character who, and I can identify with this guy, is a artist or a creator who finds himself having to make decisions about the integrity of his work.
Mm-hmm.
And normally it would be unrealistic to have somebody come up and go, I love your stuff, and hey, get the typical make this artist rich contract out for Mr. Kamoi.
Yeah, right.
It'd be unrealistic to do that. But people have gotten houses for free. People have reunited with their long lost lover from 30 years ago.
Yeah, right.
People have this is a magic show where things happen for people that are
That's
completely
true.
Unrealistic. They get over their fear of the jumping horse.
Right.
And they win the gold medal at the big athletic meet.
Yeah.
But this guy, screw this guy. And apparently for him to be successful, he has to fail.
Which is really upsetting.
I'm not sure that he's a good artist.
I'm not sure either.
I guess the girls, Usagi doesn't like her picture because that's the rules of this universe, that you can't like the picture that people have made of you. But
Yes.
other people are like, this is a good picture.
That's true.
So he's successful in that, I guess.
Yeah.
But he has to fail, and he also has to remain in poverty. He doesn't meet like a patron at the end
You're
where
right.
he gets to succeed. He doesn't do a design campaign for Bob Floyd's where he goes, well, I really want to do watercolors, but this isn't graphic design work. So I'm going to measure my expectations. I'm going to find a way to express myself, do the frozen peas ad, and then I'll still do my stuff on the side.
Yes.
It's just no, I'm homeless. It took a 14-year-old girl and her future daughter to feed me paella.
God.
But I'm going to keep doing this. And by the end of the episode, nothing has changed. That's all true. And it's canon in the episode that he must be this way.
Yeah.
Because when he says, fine, I'll drink your tea and I'll paint this thing for you, his soul becomes tarnished, literally, to the point where a soul-eating monster is like, I'm good. I don't want any part of this soul. This is an icky soul. That's horrific. This is the closest thing that this show has to a cosmology or a religion, that the things that come out of you are your soul or whatever.
Yeah.
And his soul is tarnished simply because he went against his quote-unquote principles of only making bad paintings of people that they hate.
I know.
What is the message here?
I don't know what the message is, but
and the worst part is
it.
that, and maybe this is a little too serious for this children's show, but we are veering very close to a message about unhousedness and homelessness, at least food insecurity, as you mentioned.
Yes.
But certainly, we don't know where this guy lives.
No, we don't.
And
Maybe he lives at the park.
He wears the same clothes every day.
Yeah.
His little Donald Duck hat. And it's almost like, knowing Japan's attitude towards homeless people, which is not great.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like the episode saying, he needs to be homeless. He ought to be homeless. Homeless people should be homeless. That's his destiny. That's what he's chosen to be. Or this cast of society, the artist cast, is just going to have to accept that. These are the things that I was thinking when I was watching this episode.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't really like what it's saying at all.
It's also possible that he's just not like Yumemi Umeno could paint like circles around this guy.
Oh, for sure.
And she's doing great.
Yeah.
What's his problem? Everybody hates his picture.
His problem is that like he's like, I'm going to draw somebody like this. And they don't like it. And instead of taking that criticism and being like...
Yeah, but the girl who's like, I'm going to fix this car for my dead husband.
Yeah.
She eventually goes, I can fix the car, but I need to like get back out there and like have a life and make friends.
She learns a lesson.
Right. She learns to not like water her dream down.
Right.
But to mediate it with a lifestyle that she can sustain and support,
right,
and not just sticking her head into this car every day.
Right.
This guy is malnourished. It's funny, but he literally like collapses.
I know.
And he passes out when he's like painting this young girl's picture because he has not eaten.
I know. And
he's making a stand for integrity.
It's like, dude, just get like a job at Bob Floyd's, like you said, graphic designer, or maybe just serve some ice cream. His like
on the side.
On the side, you could
part-time.
Yeah, part-time. Exactly. And then like you can get some ice cream. At least that's something, you know?
It's not even there's good messages, there's just bad messages, and it's either bad because it's just outdated or it's bad because it's Japan. I don't even know what the message is.
It's confusing.
It is completely muddled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Well, we're up to our rating.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I love that when Mr. Kamoi offers to paint Usagi and Chibi, they say, "Oh no," as they pull out their pockets, indicating that they don't have any money.
Yeah, I got money ears.
I like how the Amazon Nest Quartet says that if Zircon doesn't shape up, they will eat him.
Salted.
Yeah, right,
Salted
exactly.
and grilled.
I like that Usagi accidentally ate the last Nikumon, so they couldn't give one to Mr. Kamoi. I like when Kamoi said there's a lot of love in Chibi's drawing of Usagi and that she must love her a lot. I like that Kamoi tells CereCere that it isn't money that she earned herself, so it isn't right to flaunt her wealth. Which is also like, he's making a statement. He's making a statement about wealth and integrity,
about generational wealth, and what he assumes is her,
right,
her privilege,
right.
Which is also like, oh, we like messages like that,
yeah.
But it's like not from this Donald Duck wannabe,
not from this muddled guy.
No, this guy's completely delusional.
Yeah. I appreciate he has integrity and that he isn't going to paint someone in a way that isn't genuine. But if I kept getting the response that it doesn't look anything like me, I think I would change my approach. I would be like, this isn't working out for me. I'm getting lots of people who aren't paying for the paintings, so I need to change my style up. I need to do something different, Yeah.
Michelangelo wanted to do all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But somebody paid him to paint a bunch of religious figures on a ceiling. Now, he wasn't even particularly religious. And, if they, knew what they knew about him, they wouldn't want him to paint it anyway.
Yeah, well.
But he did it. It's a masterpiece.
Yes.
And then he also put a lot of, like, inside jokes in there to make fun of the people that he found a way to express himself.
That's amazing.
Well, maybe I'll save this for the end of the episode, but artists have patrons.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And you suspect that.
Yeah.
It'd be great if you were, super rich and you could just, buy a studio and then just make art all day and just do your thing.
Right.
But let's face it.
That's not most people.
No. Sometimes you're Basquiat and you have to, do a painting out of maple syrup on a countertop to get a couple pancakes,
Oh my God. I like that Kamoi realized how painful it is to lie to yourself and that he isn't giving up on his dream, but I don't know. I did like that Chibi's painting is the person I most admire. I did like that, even though maybe that's super sappy. Mm-hmm. But I don't like the muddled artist messaging here, and I don't feel like it was a very strong episode in a lot of ways, so I'm going to give it 1 out of 5 roses.
Huh. Well, I'm giving it 1 as well. It did it. It did it. Mm-hmm. The famed triple one from One Caliban. Is it the worst episode we've ever seen? I don't know. I'd have to go back through the books. It's certainly the worst in a while, And it certainly is done no favors by coming at a time where we just need it to be good.
Yep.
And maybe it would have been a 2 if there hadn't been such a good episode a couple episodes ago.
Right.
But we've been at this point before. I've been at this. I recognize this point.
Yes.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But this just feels deeper and darker than it's ever been. Like,
it's pretty deep.
Just got to get somewhere already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a feeling, and it was not a good night tonight. It was a bad night. It was like going to a Black Eyed Peas concert.
Oh my God.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah. This tarnished mirror.
You've got this episode about an artist. We've already done an artist episode. Yumemi Yumeno was one of the best episodes of the show.
It was good.
I could barely remember those hazy watercolored days in my mind at this point. But you got just a weird episode where Luna just disappears.
Yeah.
Tuxedo Mask's not even in it. No. You got a 2-part Yoma. You waste all its potential. I award you 1 rose. May God have mercy on your soul.
Exactly.
This is the kid peeing statue of episodes.
It is. It totally is. My English title is Artist Uninspired.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
That's a character.
It should be.
Uninspired, right?
It should, yeah.
It's just like kind of like
it's
the
wilting.
lines are kind of
effort.
Yeah, right. Mine is Vincent Van Gogh. Screw yourself.
Next episode, we are talking about episode number 157. Pegasus ga Keita Yurei Ugoku Yujo in Japanese. Pegasus disappears, wavering friendship, the English translation, and the English title, Dream Believer.
No, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Already I'm like, Daydream Believers, Homecoming Queen. No, the show, I'm born under punches at this point. I have to just stop expecting that things are going to change.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the work. I'm going to show up, but I can't. I'm going to show up hard. This is going to make me hard.
Let me finish.
So hard. Let me finish.
Okay.
You made it worse.
Sorry.
You made it way worse.
Oh, well.
Oh, this is making me so hard. No, we're gonna tough it out and get stronger.
Yes.
But part of that is like, you know when Rocky's like running up the steps.
Yeah.
He's not smiling.
Oh no.
No, he's
not having fun.
His face is when he's boxing logs in Russia. His determination's on his face, and he's got a picture of Drago on the like they're lovers or something on his mirror. It's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, but that's where we are now. Okay.
Yeah.
The fresh-faced kid is gone. You know, we have to become like Flint.
That's right.
We got to become hard.
That's right.
We got to get hard as balls. So that's our goal. Speaking of goals, we've got goals. We talked about being artists who work for patrons before.
Yes.
That's exactly what we are. And you can become a patron of ours, and we'll never draw a picture of you that you don't like.
That's right.
I can guarantee you that right now.
I can as well.
Go to patreon.com/Sailor Noob and become a patron today, where you get access to much, much, much more content. Literal other podcasts.
Yeah.
There's like a whole podcast network going on there.
I know. It's so
I don't
weird.
know how that happens,
Yeah.
but we've got Animedification, our new anime podcast. The podcast itself isn't new. It's one of our oldest podcasts.
That's true.
But we watch a new anime every week. We've got The Duels of the Game, where I talk about Revolutionary Girl Utena and the weird Gnostic underpinnings
Really?
of the series. Yeah. You ever wanted to know everything there is to know about Barbalo
What is Barbalo?
and Ammonites? Come on over and check that out.
Okay.
We've also got our Evangelion podcast, Beyond Good and Ava.
Yes.
Where we talk about the show Neon Genesis Evangelion, but also the psychological and philosophical underpinnings of that show. And it's getting deep.
There's a lot to go through. I mean, there's so much stuff that's
So many stages.
I know.
We're stuck in the anal stage right now.
Oh
But
my
no,
God.
I don't know. So we got that. We got Sailor Cinema, our show where we talk about Japan films or anime-related films and topics.
Yes.
And having a good time there. Got a great film coming up for next time on that show.
Ooh, teaser.
Not going to say what it is, though.
Okay.
But it's going to be good. So, yeah, go to patreon.com/Sailor Noob. Become an inner senshi or an outer senshi or a princess senshi today.
Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Vincent Van Gogh, screw yourself.